All right guys, let's jump into tomorrow's workout. And for the warm-up, let's start it out with our only connection to the ground, our feet, and the joint that's going to make our feet stay more in connection with the ground and allow us to move is going to be that ankle joint. So I'm going to go toes, heels, toes, heels, toes, heels. I'm going to do that about 20 times, and then I'm going to shift to either side of my shoe, outside, inside, and notice that my hips are relatively stable. Instead of me swaying and taking you guys to Hawaii, I'm going to keep these hips nice and still and try to make all this action happen down through my ankle joint. So once again, heels, toe, and then I'm going to go outside, inside, working that inversion, eversion pattern through that ankle joint. All right, directly after that, I'm going to get into some steam engines. So interlock my fingers on the back of my head, opposite elbow, opposite knee, like I'm doing a bicycle crunch, standing up. So we're going to get some good blood flow running here. From there, I'm going to get 90 here. So 90 degrees away from my shoulder with this arm, 90 degrees at the elbow, squeezing my butt to keep my spine stable. And I'm just going to get these scarecrows, rotating this upper arm bone in my shoulder joint, using these rotator cuff muscles to make that happen. So we'll get 20 of those. So carrying on with the warm-up, after I get the scarecrows, I'm going to get into my push-up position, and nice, slow and under control, chest to deck. I'm going to get my push-ups. I have my elbow away from my ribs at about a 45-degree angle, and I'm getting full extension at the top. So after I get my push-ups, I'm going to go into these groiners, which is going to have me in this push-up position, and I'm just going to get this foot up near my hand, and I'm going to alternate this. So I'm trying to get into this hip, into this lizard position, keeping my lower back in a stable position, neutral, and I'm just going to jump myself into this position, working on my groin or this inside part of my leg around the hip. So we'll just jump it, working on that hip, maintaining good spinal posture through the low back. So that's our groiners. We're getting into our hips with our lateral squat. So notice I have this stance that's outside of my shoulders. Now, everybody's hip socket is going to be a little bit different. Everybody's pelvis is going to be different, but I have my toes barely pointed out a little bit. And with a lateral squat, my feet stay planted, and I'm just going to sit back into this glute, coming back to the top, just back and forth, sitting back. So this looks a lot like our lunge position. It's just my feet are stable, my chest is up, maintaining good stability through my spine, it stays straight, and I'm just sitting back into this hip. Sitting back into this hip. That's our lateral squats. All right, so we would efficiently and quickly run through that warm-up 2 times. That's going to get our ankles ready to go, our hips ready to go. We're going to be ready to push, and then we'll jump into these bus driver squats. So bus driver squat, squat mechanics, fundamentals are always going to be key. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up in my squat stance, which is about shoulder width apart. Remember, my feet are relatively going to be straight ahead. I might turn out just a little bit, depending upon my hips. And with the squat, I'm just going to initiate by sitting my hips back, or just sitting back into my hamstrings. Chest is up, eyes are out, right back up, full hip extension at the top. Driving my knees outward, that's going to put the tension in my hips. It's like I have a towel underneath my feet, and I want to rip that towel down the middle. Well, here's a bus driver squat. This is going to help our squat position and our posture through our spine. I have a 10-pound plate. We don't need anything heavy. what I want to do from here is as I come down, I'm pressing this out. This is going to counterbalance me and help my squat position be a lot prettier. It's going to help my spinal posture. And look how deep I can sit in this squat. Look how nice that looks. So we're going to get 15 reps. So if you don't have a weight plate, grab something that's on the lighter side. This is 10 pounds. Same thing. I reel it back in at the top, press it out. I sit down here for 1, 2. I come back up. Notice I'm slowly going into this squat. I'm not just plopping down. I'm going to sit here, then I can drive back up fast. So we have a superset going. So I immediately get into the next exercise right after those bus driver squats, which is going to be a Renegade Row. So I have my dumbbells. So the way that we're going to do this Renegade Row, like we've done before, is I'm in my position. My feet are about shoulder width apart to give me stability, so then I'm not shifting through my hips. I'm going to go left, right, push up. Left, nice and stable, right, push up. That's how we're going to do the Renegade Row. If you don't have any weights, I can still stay stable through my hips, pull this up, simulating the row, push up. If you're doing that route, you don't have any weight, you might want to add a couple repetitions to that. You might want to do, instead of 8, 12. Just throwing that out there. All right, so we're gonna run through that strength superset 4 times total. After we go through 1A and 1B, we rest for a couple minutes, and then we run right back through it until we go through it 4 times. After that, we rest a little bit, we regroup, we hydrate, then we're gonna get into the stamina portion of this workout. It's gonna be every minute on the minute for 20 minutes, we have 2 movements. Movement number 1, it's going to be a ruck. Clean to the shoulder and squat. So I have my ruck. I'm in this position. I'm going to clean it to my shoulder and squat. Right back down, clean, and squat. That's 2. Clean and squat. So looking at it from the side, I'm in this position. I explode up, shoulder, squat. Right back down and squat. Okay, so we'll do 4 of those. Everybody should have a ruck, but if you don't, I mean, I could very easily use a heavier dumbbell. Clean, shoulder, squat, alternating that, clean, and squat. All right, then from there, the remainder of that time, we do our 2 burpees. We rest with the remainder of that minute, and we go right back into it for a total of 20 minutes. Continue our work, moving efficiently. All right? That's what we got.